today to the registrar of the civil division on the basis of the urgency of the matter, considering that nominations for president is next week, and considering the fact that this party has not had an elected leader in the last 10 years, and this is a matter that has been taking place within the last 5 years, and this is an independent party that needs to participate in the election so that we're able to put matters that affect the citizens of this country on the national political campaign table.
What impact has this prolonged legal battle inside the UPC had on the party's operations and public image?
Terrible. Terrible. I can tell you, terrible. I never knew that in my lifetime when I was joining Uganda People's Congress, I would experience some of this nonsense. Of course, there's an element of impunity in the party. Of course, there is an element of entitlement in the party. But of course, there is also an element of, if you like, institutional illiteracy, both in the party and across the country. Because what happened in 2020, should not really have led us into a judicial process. It's basically a failure of people are doing what they're supposed to do. And of course, you had your guests earlier could hear our friends, young friends from NRM, crying foul over systems that are broken in this country. So unfortunately, UPC has been injected in part by that. But I hope really that UPC members recognize that in their interest, that once this matter is resolved, we come together so that we're able to provide the leadership that this country urgently needs.
That's the point I want to come in just 30 seconds. Now you're hoping that the matter will be resolved. If it's not resolved through court, do you have other dispute resolution mechanisms that you're willing to look at? Do you have other cards on hand?
Yeah. We've engaged ourselves in conversations amongst key players. It's rather slow. Some people are rather disingenuous. Remember, a few weeks ago, we had a conversation in the morning, and by dinner time, it was all around places, and people were blackmailing the others. But I really hope that we're able to resolve it amicably. Where we are at the moment, I think the matters are in the judiciary, but the judiciary ought to recognize that's the burden of responsibility as the third arm of government, to be able to deal and resolve this matter so that within the next several days, we're able to have an outcome in which citizens of this country recognize that there is a political party and a political leadership in Uganda People's Congress providing an alternative, and that alternative has not failed as a result of either the incompetence, the interference, or the failure, basically, to go through a very basic due process. But I'm confident that the judiciary will be able to do that, and I hope that come next week, Uganda People's Congress will not only have a leader, but will have a leader that will be able to work together with everybody else so that we're able to provide the future for the citizens of this country, particularly the youth of this country who badly need leadership from Uganda People's Congress.
Joseph Ocheno, the petitioner in this particular case, many thanks for speaking to us tonight and providing clarity on some of those matters. And now it's time for NBS Live at Night, shall we?
Good evening. Each time you interview politicians, I am convinced I like to be on the side of asking questions, not on the side of being asked. But what is certain and sure is that this is NBS Live at 9, beginning right about now.
Our girls, some of them, I'm told they died under mysterious circumstances.
Government tasked to explain the exploitation of Ugandan girls into sex trade in Dubai as investigations begin.
Running what would be equivalent to modern slave trade.
Electoral Commission asked presidential aspirants to choose their preferred nomination times.
That has to be harmonized so that we know, the Commission knows who is coming when.
Not good news at all. UNATU maintains industrial action after failing to reach agreement with public service. The NUP vetting process, even the mighty are at the mercy of Chemtai's committee. Counting down to NRM youth elections, why the youth are petitioning the party chairman over mode of elections.
They have been telling us that we who have no money have no space in this election.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Kanuri Mugume and Samson Kasumba.
Let's begin the news, and it is government being tasked to explain. From where? It is from Parliament that has called on the government to urgently explain the ongoing exploitation of Ugandans, and that is happening in the UAE, and they are asking for law enforcement to take action. It does follow a BBC investigation that exposed the Ugandan national allegedly involved in human trafficking and sexual exploitation. Described as a modern-day slave trade, the report does link the abuse of this particular abuse to deaths of several Ugandan nationals. That kicks us off.
Ugandan legislators have been treated to shock and pain after an investigation by BBC that revealed 2 Ugandan exported laborers who were mistreated to death. The BBC investigation cited 2 Ugandan nationals who were involved in this exploitation of young ladies, forcing them into the graveyard. The MPs wondered how trade in humans for such evil acts continues without any clear action by government.
Allegedly trading in human beings, girls, trading our girls. Some of them, I'm told, they died under mysterious circumstances. So I think we need to reopen that debate. We look into the issues, the plight of our Ugandan workers, especially the girls who need much more protection.
A lady got to me. She was taken to Dubai. And then when she reached there, she thought she was going to work in a supermarket or something, only to find herself in a sex process.
Running what would be equivalent to modern slave trade, picking human beings, girls, and selling them to be dehumanized in ways that cannot be described. So the procedural matter I'm raising, how we have veered off the matter of slave trade and to debate as if we are suggesting that government should take up the responsibility of selling Ugandans abroad for such things.
The MP's concerns indicated that some of their colleagues in the Ugandan parliament had been cited in the painful stories of external labourers, with some explaining that the endangered are mostly trafficked, to which the Deputy Speaker revealed that he had to make interventions by himself. Some want government to take over the recruitment of external labourers with hope that government can become entirely responsible for its citizenry working out of the country.
It is the responsibility of government to care for Ugandans here and Ugandans abroad. I'm actually surprised that government has not come out to communicate to the country about this situation and what they are doing.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs must come out and explain where is the delay in negotiating enforceable bilateral labor agreements.
With many tasking government to take action with the links given by the media investigations, Minister David Bahati revealed that Prime Minister had already directed the investigation to be carried out as the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development readies for explanation.
We really need to know how you followed up, and we need to know whether these people indeed went through farms licensed by government or they went on their own.
When this documentary came out, the Prime Minister directed the Minister for Labour to investigate the matter and actually even update Cabinet in the coming days, but also take some action. So government is already in action in terms of investigating the matter and making sure that we prevent this to happen even to other Ugandans.
Let's talk about the openness of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has announced that it is very open to the idea of receiving proposals from presidential aspirants regarding their preferred nomination times on the scheduled nomination days of September 23rd and indeed the 24th. So far, at least 25 aspirants have submitted their nomination documents and signatures to the Electoral Commission for verification. Once the verification process is complete, it will be the Electoral Commission that will issue certificates approving the aspirants to proceed with their nominations.
The 2026 presidential nominations process started with the receipt and verification of key documents and signatures supporting the bids of some of the hundreds of individuals who picked nomination forms expressing interest in running for the country's top office in the upcoming general polls. However, only 25 of the over 200 people who initially picked nomination forms have so far returned the necessary documentation and signatures for review, verification and approval to proceed to the nomination stage.
We have satisfied the Electoral Commission today, even though the process is ongoing to verify those signatures, but I can assure the country that we got people across the country endorsing the candidature of George William Magera.
The process has also seen some aspirants turned away for lack of the required number of signatures and other requirements. The Electoral Commission requires every aspirant to collect and submit at least 100 signatures from the 98 districts across the country to support their candidature before they can be approved for nomination.
Each file, each signature, each submission is verified to establish, number one, that this supporter is indeed a citizen of Uganda and is a registered voter and is on the voters register. And number two, that this supporter has not offered their support to more than one aspirant.
With less than a week remaining before the September 23rd and 24th presidential nominations, the Commission is confident that all aspirants who meet the prerequisite requirements will be verified and certified in time.
No one should be worried, because it is the Commission is in charge of this process. It knows what it must do, and it will do what it has to do to make sure that everybody that needs to be verified has been verified.
Aspirants whose details have been accepted by the Commission have been asked to submit their preferred time and slot for nomination, which will then be harmonized by the Commission to ensure a streamlined process.
The Commission cannot now say who is coming when, but people are at liberty to begin to express interest on when they would like to come, but that has to be harmonized so that we know, the Commission knows who is coming when.
The Commission says its doors remain open to receiving aspirants who meet all requirements to stand for the office of the President until the nominations deadline.
Let's just stay with politics for a moment. The National Unity Platform vetting exercise has entered its second day, with aspirants seeking the party flag for parliamentary and district women member of parliament races in Kampala, Ankole and Choli sub-regions appearing before the Electoral Management Committee, chaired by Harriet Chemutai. The process has revealed intense competition, particularly for the Kampala district women member of parliament race and the Kawempe South positions, with contenders showing no signs of backing off this particular race or races. The committee has affirmed that the all aspirants it is, including those currently in prison, will be given a fair chance to be vetted.
Although every constituency in Kampala has seen fierce competition, some races have stood out as more heated than others. One such battleground is the seat for the Kampala District Woman MP, where political hotstorm is brewing between two of the three candidates vying for the party ticket. The face-off to watch, however, is the one between lawyer Shamim Malende and KCCA Speaker Zahara Luyirika. These two were even summoned by party leaders for reconciliation talks, a move that led to their fellow contender Nakandi Winifred stepping down from the race unceremoniously. Malende and Luyirika still showed up and in full color. Supporters of Shamim Malende were singing Hosanna to their candidate, while Luyirika's supporters were accusing her rival of being part of the lawyers' fatigue, saying that they are tired of lawyers dominating the political space. Each of the two kept a watchful eye on the other, making sure not to be outshined, and visibly none of them looked afraid of the other.
We are winners and we do not fear, and what has transpired in there, we expected it.
Another hot contest is the one in Kawempe South between Dr. Roy Semboga and Chairman Nyanzi Sentamo. Chairman Nyanzi arrived at the venue with strength and confidence, flanked by NUP Organizing Secretary Dr. Moses Kanabi. Despite the intensity of the race, Dr. Roy Semboga says that he remains highly optimistic.
I ran the previous campaign. I don't start from zero.
The party spokesperson and leader of opposition in Parliament, Joe Senyonyi, also arrived at the vetting venue and entered the screening room. In this footage, captured using a phone camera, Senyonyi is seen wiping sweat from his face. Later on, he told us even though he's a top party leader, he wasn't given any special treatment.
Once there is a process, we all get to go through it.
Even the NUP Secretary General, David Lewis Lubongoya, revealed that the committee asked him several tough questions.
The process was tough, but manageable.
He says that he's hoping against hope that he's given the party card to contest as an MP for Kampala Central. Among other vetted candidates were those from the Ankole region.
The people of Mbarara
they should not think about me before thinking about Kyagulanyi Ssentamu.
That we are not only contesting, but we are here to contest and win.
The NUP Electoral Management Committee told us that they are handling the process with utmost discipline and all those who appear before them will be treated with fairness.
We can't fail to have a day or two to actually cater for some of our colleagues that could have missed out on the exercise due to very genuine reasons.
We'll leave red and come to yellow. The National Resistance Movement, NRM Central Executive Committee's decision to centralize elections for youth and parliamentary flag bearers, and that the National Female Youth MP and the youth representative to SEC has sparked concern among youth candidates with just one day to the Thursday polls. Several candidates now arguing that holding elections at the district level is unfair and financially burdensome, urging the chairman of the NRM, that is, to intervene before come voting day. Despite the concerns, the NRM has confirmed that these particular elections will proceed as scheduled.
The election of youth representatives to the top NRM organ had earlier been postponed due to violent clashes, and up to now they haven't voted. Now the NRM SEC decision to decentralize the elections has caused anxiety among some of the youth candidates. Oremo Odwe, contesting for National Youth MP from Northern Uganda, and Ouma John Baptist, contesting for Eastern Uganda, say that holding the vote at district level will disadvantage especially those with limited financial capacity.
For someone who is now running for regional youth member of parliament, for example me, it means I have got to look for agents in 42 districts, two agents, and these agents have got to be facilitated.
This burden is transferred to we, the young people, we the peasants, we the Wayakis of today, we the Okonkos of today.
The two argue that elections should have been held in one central location to avoid cases of voter bribery which characterized the NRM SEC elections.
The delegates have called us. By the way, that's we have been consulting the delegates, and they have been calling us. They have been telling us that we who have no money have no space in this election.
Based on this, that the young people are saying, why are we moving away from the norm? We respect SEC so much as cadres of NRM.
NRM Director of Communications, Emmanuel Dombo, says the Secretariat cannot change the decision unless the party's top organ issues fresh instructions.
For us as a Secretariat, we are supposed to implement the decision of the committee. If the youth have a different perspective about this, then the only person who has the responsibility over this is the person who presides over the Central Executive Committee, who is the national chairman.
He says this decision will help the party reduce on the expenditure previously spent on elections and also minimize the irregularities that had marred the earlier vote at Kololo.
It is to be cheaper for the process because bother of collecting people from the various districts, accommodating them, looking after them centrally, could have its own implications.
This election will choose youth representatives to Parliament, the National Female Youth MP, and youth members to SEC. The big question now is whether the youth will get a chance to meet the party chairman before Thursday.
UG vote does continue until we have seen the last of all the races, and that will be next year. Now let's get out of UG votes into regular business, and it is the leader of opposition in Parliament, Joe Senyonyi, that has accused government of ignoring the growing crisis caused by the ongoing strike by arts teachers, which is disrupting the learning in public schools. Speaking on the floor of Parliament alongside other legislators legislators Joe Senyonyi also warned accounting officers and resident district commissioners against intimidating the striking teachers. And in response, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa had noted that the Education Minister and had noted that the Minister of Education and Sports had informed him of the ongoing engagement with key stakeholders to resolve the matter in a timely manner.
Honourable Speaker, school term has opened this very week, and we have a challenge. UNATU, the teachers' union, has called for a sit-down strike. They are concerned about salary disparities, commitments made to them by government over the years that have not been fulfilled. And these teachers are saying, let's lay down our tools because our engagements with government have not brought through any fruit. A few teachers have gone to school. They are saying, let's teach because it's the end of term, let's not disorganize the students. But others are saying, look, it does not make sense for me to go and teach other people's children. Mine cannot go to school because I cannot afford. These are very critical concerns. This is the closure term where assessments get to be made, people get to be promoted or otherwise. Can government help us understand what they are doing about this? And my hope, because in the past, Honourable Speaker, when there have been such strikes, government comes and they are intimidating these teachers. I saw today the acting RDC of Kumi, the one James Chiomia. He has threatened to arrest all the teachers in Kumi who are on strike. That's unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Government will normally say, you teachers, be patriotic, go and teach. Will you be patriotic first by fulfilling the commitments you made to these teachers? It's an alarming issue. Government needs to tell us what are they doing about that right now.
Yes, and I reached out to the Minister for Education personally, and she told me there are consultations which they are making and they are going to update us, but all of them are aimed at resolving the impasse. So I'm going to again cross-check because we shall need this house to be updated. I totally agree with you.
On that very subject, I'm now joined by the chairperson of UNATU, Mr. Philbert Baguma. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And if I may, Philbert, what did you reach, or what decisions were made in your meeting with the Minister of Public Service, if there is anything to write home about?
Thank you very much. Today we had the meeting chaired by the Honorable Minister of Public Service, and it was attended by Ministry of Public Service officials, Ministry of Education and Sports officials, and Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. We presented our issues to them, and we hope they will get back to us with the answers.
Now, what explains your timing of this strike, very close to a third term and very close to an election season? What strategic decision is here? In Uganda, they would ask, Mubarachi, what's the calculation?
First of all, we shouldn't look at this issue as an issue of third term. If you recall, in 2022, in the month of June, we went for industrial action, which was suspended on 4th July 2022. And the promise was, be patient. We are working on salary enhancement in a phased manner. Within 3 years now and 2 months, we have been waiting, and there is nothing that is forthcoming. And therefore, we have had a series of engagements. We met the Parliamentary Committee on Education and Sports. We met the Equal Opportunities Commission. We have written letters to the concerned offices, and therefore, our pronouncement for the industrial action is not an issue of third term or is not an issue that we are calculating something, because remember, as teachers, we are also parents and guardians.
Okay.
Therefore, we understand the learners better than any other person can come out to say is sympathizing with the learners. The teacher's passion is with the learner.
The learners definitely want to sit their exams, and they are hoping that you reconsider your position. In the event that government sticks to its guns, that it doesn't have the money, are you saying that this lot will not sit exams, you will not be in class until government finds the money some point next year, and therefore a dead year for these kids? Are you prepared to go that far, to stick in that far? Or at some point, if government doesn't break, you'll go back to class in the interest of the students?
For quite some time, we have always gone for industrial action, and we have always listened to the employer, who is government. We have always gone back to class. But it is becoming too much, because the teachers must also be treated like other Ugandans. Teachers need fairness and justice.
Okay.
And therefore, for a teacher to go to teach while he or she cannot send his or her child to school is an injustice.
I agree with you, but I'm looking for a yes or no answer. This time round, other than any other time, if government doesn't yield to your demands, you're saying if the term dies, it dies. That's your position.
Obviously, if the government remains not giving us a solution,
this will be a dead term.
This will be a dead one.
Thank you. Government does have it there now. The teachers are saying it's their demands or the term is dead. There's nothing in between. That's where this is. And you had it first here on NBS Live at 9.
More to come, brought to you by
Refined, fortified, blended pure vegetable cooking oil, second best to a mother's love.
This high-level jubilation.
There is a renewed mix of hope and frustration in Toro following the NRM's parliamentary caucus support for the long-awaited division of the district. That's when we come back right after this break.
Cooking all that makes food sweet, tastes so good like mama's keys. Sweet Tamasana, yeah. Star gold is the oil you need for a tasty meal to live a healthy, happy life. Star gold, refined, fortified, blended pure vegetable cooking oil, second best to a mother's love.
Yes! Everyone has a dream of owning a house this year. It's your turn to Joga 2025 with ABSA. Switch to ABSA and make your dream a reality by applying for the ABSA Home Loan. Call 0800 222 333 and let's get started. ABSA, your story matters. This sound, this is us, our shared life, our common ground. As we near the elections, this is what we must protect. Our strength has never been in thinking the same. It's in talking through our differences. It's in choosing dialogue. We have all seen those posts that make our heart race, that make us angry. But what if our first reaction wasn't to share, but to ask, to verify, to talk to a friend? Peace isn't a big, complicated idea. It's a choice we make every day. It's choosing to listen to your neighbor, even if you disagree. It's making sure everyone has a voice. It's remembering that after the votes are counted, we still have to build this country together. This isn't about who wins or loses. This is about us. It's about the Uganda we leave for our children. Let's promise each other to talk, to protect, to unite. Tuongee, let's talk peace UG, our Uganda.
Ready to transform your commutes? Embrace a greener, more affordable way to travel and promise of agile entrepreneurship with e-mobility. The future is here. E-mobility is tackling today's most daunting challenges. See it in action at the National E-Mobility Expo 2025, September 18th to 19th at the Kira Vehicle Plant in Jinja. Head to our digital channels and follow the link www.neme.kiramotors.com to register.
Take a look around and you'll see everything can be reimagined. Everything rough can be smooth. Everything old can be fresh. Everything can be made vibrant and full of attitude. The world is what you make it. So why not make it yours? Guinness Smooth. Make it yours.
Hello, Aveno.
Hello, madam. I am Mr. Longido, the roof control officer from the district.
I've never heard of you before. Trust me, it's a real job that you don't have to Google. Now, please tell me about your roof sheets and don't leave out any details, eh?
These roof sheets are called Orientile from Uganda, Bati, and we've had them for quite a while. They come in many colors. For us, we chose this color. They are very wide. So we used less sheets, which saved us a lot of money.
Wonderful. We'll be reaching out to you with a report in a week, eh? Okay? Bye!
Crown your home with Orientile, the widest steel roof sheets in Uganda from Uganda Bati.
Engineer, Uganda Bati. Genjagala, go!
Uganda Bati, Uganda's most trusted building solutions partner.
Welcome back. You're still watching NBS Live at 9. Now let's turn our eyes to Tororo. There's a renewed mix of hope and frustration in Tororo, and that is hope and frustration following the NRM Parliamentary Caucus's support for the long-awaited division of the district. Earlier this year, similar excitement followed President Yoweri Museveni's approval of the new administrative units. However, delays in implementation led to confusion and political tension. Many had expected the Greater Tororo split to take effect by July, but mixed signals from government left both residents and politicians in limbo. The latest caucus endorsement has revived optimism that the promise may finally be fulfilled.
This high-level jubilation was witnessed in Tororo in April this year after President Museveni approved the creation of 3 new administrative units and a city out of the existing Greater Tororo district. The move was aimed at addressing ethnic tensions and improving service delivery. The celebrations were driven by the belief that the new administrative units would become functional within weeks.
We thought it would be within a week because they said from 1st July 2025 we shall have our districts in place. But up to now, there's nothing.
With such expectations, many politicians began laying political strategies, with the several even paying for nomination forms during the recently concluded NRM primaries, but only to be told that no new district had officially been created. This left many in a dilemma.
And we took time to contribute each to the NRM 3 million. That was almost 36 million shillings. And we ended up not having value for our money.
As a result, the district population almost gave up on the division and instead focused on strategizing politically within the existing single district. However, just as the people were coming to terms with these situations, new developments emerged. The Parliamentary Caucus approved the creation of new administrative units and forwarded the matter to the Attorney General for legal advice, rekindling hopes that the people's long-held dream might finally be realized. But with this announcement coming after several nominations had already taken place, a section of the population received the news with shock and bitterness.
You don't know whether you should celebrate or you should be sad.
It has come at the wrong time, much as we are the people who fight for the district.
While some termed the move as untimely, several politicians welcome government's decision, saying that it has been long overdue.
If this place is divided into 4, then we are going to create so many jobs. It will be over 2,000 jobs.
This thing favors the incumbents, and we will request the community and the whole population to give these people their chance to at least to protect the new district which has come for these 5 more years.
With the decision of Tororo's division having dragged for decades, a section of district leaders now want the government to walk the talk for the benefit of both the population and the state.
But if you again start telling them you use the law 6 months the next year, why do you start things that you are not going to implement? Why?
Tororo district's division has lingered for years, with President Yoweri Museveni promising a resolution nearly every election cycle. Now that it has resurfaced yet again in another election season, all eyes are on the government to see whether this time the promise will finally come to pass.
We now speak to economist Dr. Fred Muhumza on the matter. Dr. Muhumza, many thanks for speaking to us tonight. What are the economic implications of creating new administrative units in Uganda today in these economic times?
We have seen government create new districts. At least the decision has been made in the NRM caucus, which by default will now come through to Parliament and pass, especially in this political season. And it has implications on quite a number of things that go with it. One, we are seeing this decision being passed and going to apply retrospectively, because the budget has already begun and run for 1 quarter. But for purposes of political and electioneering procedures, it has to be deemed to have started in 1st of July. Now that already creates a lot of strain, that the areas where the districts are coming from either will have to get supplementary budgets, or they will have to share the smaller budgets that are already been allocated to these places. You have Tororo, where you have 3 new districts and the city that is coming up. I don't want to believe that the budget that had been allocated for this region was covering that space. So the implications there are definitely severe, that we'll have to cut budgets from across different areas, and then also to put in administrative structures in place while the process is already ongoing. We are not sure that that will actually deliver the services, at least for this shorter period that we have in this particular financial year.
Well, how does the proliferation of administrative units impact fiscal sustainability and budget allocation in Uganda, considering factors like recurrent expenditure, debt servicing, and investment in productive sectors?
We already have a strained budget, and the creation of new districts adds to the strain in 2 ways. Not only does it increase the budget requirement that you need to run additional units, I think the indication of about 26 billion to be added to start them. But it also reduces on what we call budget flexibility, because when you create new districts, you have institutional overheads that must be paid for. Some of them may come through rent of offices, through salaries, operational costs of these administrative structures. And according to our budgeting processes, these must be met before you even find recurrent budgets to actually deliver the services. So wages will take priority over this process, but we already have a whole big constraint that if you look through the broader budget perspective, the first priority goes to payment of debt. Now, if we are going to finance these particular districts through payment of debt, which is the most likely thing, then you actually have an additional loop that the budgets will go into more servicing of debt before you even pay wages, then you pay the wages. Chances are you don't have enough resources left that will now go into the direct service delivery, which actually the government is looking forward to under the decentralization policy. And that becomes quite a strenuous situation. I wish we had planned this earlier and not to do it while as they say, the train has already left the station.
Indeed, the train has already left the station, but is there empirical evidence linking the creation of new administrative units to, say, improved governance, service delivery, or economic outcomes in Uganda?
We may not have, of course, people have done studies, but looking at the whole structure of decentralization, it was quite broad how decentralization was supposed to improve service delivery. But decentralization, at the time of its creation in the early 90s, around 1992, was based on a certain criteria. One was involving the administrative unit that is going to be created should be able to generate sufficient revenue to complement the revenues coming from the central government. Now, we've not seen that happen through. As many people have done studies, we have seen more was decentralization of responsibilities and power, but not fiscal decentralization. We've not seen sufficient resources going to the local government to enable them deliver the services that they are intended to deliver. If you look at capitation, for example, in primary schools, you're going to be giving 7,000 per child for an entire term. Now, a term has about 90 days. You're talking about less than 80 shillings per day. Now, you cannot say because that school is now in a decentralized setting, the service being offered to the children will be better than before decentralization. And as decentralization continues to eat into those small resources, we already have teachers, the arts teachers, moving on with their strike. Now, some of these monies would have gone to say what actually delivers a service, what translates into service. Is it having an administrative unit, or is it actually getting the resources down to the implementing units, the schools, the health facilities, the engineers who do the roads, those road construction units? These are really some of the challenges we have faced, and we do not have significant evidence that is solid enough to say decentralization has actually translated into service delivery. But there is evidence to show that it has actually undermined the provision of services in the different areas.
Dr. Fred Muhumza, many thanks for sharing your views with us on the creation of new administrative units and the implication on the economy. Now, moving on, the Parliamentary Lands Committee has launched a probe into illegal possession of properties formerly under the departed Asians Property Custodian Board, revealing that some Indian nationals have illegally repossessed over 1,000 properties. The committee grilled the board's chairman, George William Bizibu, over allegations of mismanagement and irregular handling of these properties.
Officials from the departed Asian Custodian Board, chaired by the chairperson George William Bizibu, appeared before the newly constituted Lands Committee of Parliament, chaired by Buyamba County Legislator Javira Semwanga, to respond to allegations of illegal possession and mismanagement of the departed Asians' properties by some individuals.
These properties were not claimed and leases are expired. What has happened to those properties?
George William Binto Bizibu disclosed that he is having challenges of managing these properties, as some individuals are working with district land boards to sell the properties in question.
Of lands. What now they are tabulating, because they are the owners of this information. They have all these titles. And now they are giving us information that this lease, according to the nominal lease, as in the original, it is deemed to have expired, and it expired this year. But according to your law, it is still running, and it is remaining with 20 or 10 years.
However, committee members discovered double compensation of these properties dating back from Idi Amin government and have again repossessed these properties countrywide.
So these individuals came back, they also repossessed. So there's a confusion, and now they are still claiming as an Indian committee. So they are going to sue and maybe compensate.
Bizibu also disclosed that the board is having challenges of reclaiming some of these properties, with some Indians seeking the president's intervention.
I fix them. They run to the president. They run to other people. And I'm branded as if I'm about to bring another explosion.
We're losing a lot as a country. You know, when custodian board is not active, we get challenges with our physical planning. Yes. We get challenges with the land use.
Stakeholders from various sectors have emphasized the need for affordable financing to drive Uganda's tenfold growth agenda. At the media launch of the 6th Uganda Economic Forum set for month-end, speakers also highlighted collaboration as key to national development. The forum will be held under the theme Unlocking Regional Value Through Agriculture, Tourism, Minerals and Services, and will unite public and private players to explore transformative strategies.
Next Media, in collaboration with its partners, has launched a series of build-up activities leading to the 6th edition of the Uganda Economic Forum, scheduled to take place from September 30th to October 3rd. The forum is set to convene key stakeholders from both the public and private sectors to explore how Uganda can tap into development opportunities in agriculture, tourism, minerals and service sectors considered critical to the country's long-term growth. Speaking at the media launch, Emmanuel Njuchi, the head of Legal and Corporate Affairs, Arnal Boris emphasized the importance of agriculture to Uganda's economy. He called on stakeholders to engage in meaningful dialogue around the sector, noting its impressive annual contribution, while also urging for innovative solutions to the persistent challenges that farmers continue to face.
So this is a good conversation to have, because now you appreciate what the government is actually planning for, where they plan to put resources, how you can contribute and how you get to benefit. It doesn't come often. So this is a timely conversation for people to actually tap into government planning.
From the private sector, the Business Solutions Director at Grant Thornton, Uganda, Akshay Patel, applauded the forum's role in fostering partnerships that are essential for driving sustainable economic change and national development.
Being a part of, we want to understand the challenges, we want to hear what government is thinking from the perspective of the economical development. What are the expected policies government is planning to bring? If there is anywhere we share our views.
A policy analyst and executive director at Accord, Dr. Arthur Binomsha, urged forum participants to champion bold policy reforms. He stressed the need to reduce the cost of capital, promote entrepreneurship and ensure the sustainable management of Uganda's national debt.
I think it was one of the president's slogans, I think either 2016 or 2011, when he talked about Okulembeka. Now Okulembeka, people have responded. They want to make money, but the capital in this country is expensive. Cash is expensive, and especially from the commercial banks.
Representing Next Media, the head of corporate affairs and partnerships, Ben Mwine, called on Ugandans to view national growth as a shared responsibility. He highlighted the importance of collaboration and platforms like the Uganda Economic Forum in achieving the country's ambitious tenfold growth agenda.
The government of Uganda recently came up with a strategy where we want to see tenfold growth to make sure that we are going up to about $500 billion as an economy. People have laughed at this. People think, maybe it's unattainable. We think it is. If you can't be ambitious, what's the point?
The 6th edition of the Uganda Economic Forum will provide a critical platform for stakeholders to deliberate on how the country can strategically harness its sectoral strength to meet its growth targets over the next 15 years.
Now moving on, President Yoweri Museveni has today, the Tuesday of 16th September 2025, received credentials from 3 new ambassadors designate to Uganda, reaffirming the country's commitment to deepening bilateral cooperation with Ireland, France and Thailand. Speaking at a ceremony held at State House in Entebbe, the President highlighted areas of collaboration, including education, infrastructure, security, trade and socio-economic transformation. He also emphasized Uganda's continued focus on on women's empowerment and involvement through commercial agriculture, manufacturing, ICT and services. The envoys that include Margaret Gaino of Ireland, Virginie Leroy of France and Morakot Janemakathon of Thailand pledged to strengthen ties between Uganda and their respective nations. Now moving on, the people of Malawi are anxiously awaiting the outcome of Tuesday's general election as vote counting is underway across the country. Citizens turned out in large numbers to elect a president, members of parliament and local councillors hoping to bring change to a nation facing severe economic challenges. Incumbent President Lazarus Chakwera is seeking a second term, promising to fix the economy, a pledge echoed by his main rival, 85-year-old former President Peter Mutharika. If no candidate secures over 50% of the vote, a runoff will be held between the top two contenders. Malawi remains one of the world's poorest countries, recently plagued by a soaring food price and a worsening foreign currency crisis and frequent power and fuel shortages. Inflation has surpassed 30% while wages lag far behind. As voters queued at polling stations, long lines of vehicles also formed at petrol stations, a reminder of the everyday struggles people of Malawi do face.
Feedback brought to you by
At ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking, we are invested in your story and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. ABSA.
And now let's take a look at your feedback on our opinion question. And tonight, our question goes as such. Suggest ways in which the government can protect Ugandan migrant workers from exploitation abroad. Hashtag NBS Live at 9. And the first comment coming in from Okumu Gideon. The government can protect Ugandan migrant workers by enforcing strict regulation of recruitment agencies, signing strong labor agreements with host countries, and providing embassy support to ensure fair treatment and quick help in cases of abuse. Nicholas says the government should introduce a digital platform to connect workers directly with verified employers abroad, strengthen embassies. And Bernard Mwanguzi says it would be great if government makes deliberate follow-up on work agreements between the workers and the agencies as well as the bosses. It should as well be in position to influence the provisions within and ensure respect for human dignity and well-being. What are your leaders saying online? This is Social Spotlight. Yoweri Museveni says, I met with His Royal Highness the Chabazinga William Wilberforce, Governor Nadiope IV, and his delegation from Busoga Kingdom. We discussed issues of mutual interest, and I congratulate him on his 11th coronation and on the blessing of the twins. Winnie Chiza, former leader of opposition, says politics has real-life consequences. It's not a joke. Why is the point choosing leaders to represent you at local and national levels? Remember, you reap what you sow. Liliana Bell, Minister in charge of disaster preparedness, says today we met with Honorable Zhu Jiani, who is the Minister of Emergency Management of the People's Republic of China. I thank him for expressing goodwill to collaborate with Uganda in strengthening disaster management.
Top stories brought to you by
Engineer Uganda Bati. Genjagala go.
Uganda Bati, Uganda's most trusted building solutions partner.
Now here's a reminder of our top stories tonight. Government tasked to explain the exploitation of Ugandan girls in UAE sex trade. And Electoral Commission calls on presidential aspirants to choose nomination dates. And UNATU continues strike after breakdown in talks with public service. NBS Live at 9 takes a break. We'll be back here with more stories including business and sport.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Are you excited for your birthday tomorrow?
Yes, Mommy. It's going to be the best day ever. Ignoring speed limits isn't just breaking the law, it is risking lives. It is 30 kilometers per hour for a reason. Slow down.
Transform your event with Peno Events. From elegant weddings to impactful corporate events, Peno Events has you covered. We specialize in crafting tailored experiences for any occasion, whether small and intimate or grand and large scale. Our services include cocktail seating and Louis mesh chairs for comfort and style, professional podiums and crossback chairs for formal setups, pagoda tents and standalone parasols for a perfect outdoor vibe, mobile toilets for guest convenience. Let our expert team handle every detail so you can relax and enjoy. Peno Events. Safe, reliable, stylish.
Yeah, possible.
Looks like whoever drops the ball buys a Pepsi. What, Jack? Sonny! Saved by Leah Williamson. Wow, Vinny Jr., game over!
Wait, there's only one Vinny J.
Pepsi, thirsty for more.
Wangula tukutuku ne sabuni jama. Uliwagula sabuni jama, Prestige Margarine, sabuni owokunaba, owalanzo, owobuunga yosa, owatos, chapa mandasi, baking powder, ebibiriti bya solio, buto wa rinsen, omuzigo gwa kasuku ne tiri, nala instant noodles n'ebirala bingi nga biweza obukadde butaano n'okudda waggulu. Abo ofunira wakakonge kojjuza nga kakuyingiza buterevu mu kalulu ak'okuwangula tukutuku n'ebirabo ebirala nfoofo ebyobuliwo. Wangula tukutuku ne sabuni jama.
With Momo, you have the power to pay for shopping more easily using your phone. Dial *165*3# or scan to download Momo app and pay for anything. No hassling for change. And even better, if you run out of money while paying, you can simply add core with Momo Advance. That's Momo. That's the power to be more.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
Welcome back. Let's have a look at some business. Tonight, the latest social performance report by Total Energies Exploration and Production shows that Uganda has so far employed 10,571 Ugandans in the Tilenga project, the country's flagship oil development launched by State Minister for Energy Sidronius Opolot. The report also highlights that since 2021, over 99% of the project's workforce employed by Total Energies and its contractors are Ugandan nationals.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
According to the newly launched report, of the 10,571 Ugandans employed in the sector, 3,719, approximately 35%, are from host communities in the districts of Bulisa, Nwoya, Pakwach, Hoima, Masindi and Chikuve. The report says that 13 Ugandans have undertaken international exposure to work in other Total Energies affiliates globally in USA, Africa, Europe and Asia. Total Energies also shows that there is a significant growth in the number of Ugandan companies engaged on the project, with over 240 local suppliers engaged by the French company.
In furtherance of the rights and well-being of the affected people, the households whose primary residences were affected during the land acquisition process were given an option to select between cash or in-kind compensation, and altogether 475 PAPs who opted for replacement houses were all constructed and handed over to the owners, and the process was completed in October 2024 in Visa District.
According to the minister, the skills gained by the welders, electricians, engineers and administrators from the local communities are not just for this project, but a legacy that will serve the country for generations.
I'm proud to report that this program has gone beyond a simple financial transaction, which would be a one-off. It has encompassed a holistic package of interventions supporting the various persons who were affected, including the vocational training, financial literacy programs, and also agricultural inputs.
Well, it's time that we look at our stocks at the Uganda Securities Exchange. Starting it off there with Centum Investment Company, which edged up there 0.97% to close at 378.32, while Stanbic Bank Uganda was actually up 0.51%. Altogether, they traded about 80,900 shares that were traded there at 61.51 shillings, which was quite high. Now, looking at some of our losses, Equity Bank Limited there down 1.02%, while Kenya Airways was down 0.80%. East African Breweries Limited was also down as well tonight on all the stocks, as you can see over there, such as Kenya Airways 0.67%, that's East African Breweries Limited, while KCB Group was down 0.11%, as you can see. Now, looking at the rest of the stocks, were pretty stable or unchanged, such as MTN Uganda, which closed at 285 there. Airtel Uganda 80 shillings. Now DFCU was there stable at 261, such as the rest of the stocks were pretty much unchanged and stable. And that's our Business Pulse tonight. Let's go for a break.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
When your message matters, how you present it makes all the difference. At Quick Computing Limited, we specialize in powerful print and branding solutions, from election posters, campaign flyers, and banners to offset and digital printing, screen printing, embroidery, deco and building branding, labels, corporate stationery, signage, and even flatbed printing on glass and acrylic. Our services are built for businesses, government institutions, NGOs, schools, and yes, even political campaigns that need speed, scale, and precision. ISO certified, a dedicated team, and we have the latest equipment from Kampala to Congo, Kenya to South Sudan. Quick delivers every time. So whether you are printing one label or a million posters, do it with confidence. Visit Quick Computing Limited, Plot 15, 7th Street, Industrial Area, Kampala, or go to quickcomputing.co or call +256 392 178 141. Quick Computing Limited. Quality with perfection.
If luxury had a face, would it wear diamonds or a knowing smile? The kind that says, yes, this was made for me. If luxury had a voice, it would sound like choice. The quiet confidence of me. I want it like this. If luxury had a face, maybe it would look like home. From Milan to Kampala, luxury is here. Luxury has arrived.
A glorious night, a living legend, a once-in-a-lifetime concert, one you cannot miss. Grammy Award winner and international renowned sax player Kenny G is coming to Uganda for a grand jazz concert at Mestil Gardens for one night only. Imagine live, one night only with Kenny G. This is truly a chance of a lifetime. Kenny G early bird tickets are now available at 200k, and they are flying. Gold tickets at 300k and platinum table of 8 at 6 million shillings. Get your Kenny G tickets at quicket.co.ug. One night only with Kenny G. Sunday, September 28th at Mestil Gardens, powered by MTN. One night, one legend, Kenny G. Visit quicket.co.ug.
Looking for a vacation of a lifetime? Cross the equator and discover Pineapple Bay Resort. Enjoy exceptional life's luxuries. Spend quality time with family, friends, or even that special someone. Get in touch with nature with our range of outdoor activities. The calming tranquility of water, breathtaking views, moving memories around campfires. It's all here. Plus, a club experience like no other at Pineapple Bay Clubhouse. It's a whole vibe. You can hire any of our 3 VIP cruise boats for groups of 10, 14, or 25 people. Or you can cruise out with swag on a luxury yacht for 12 people. Our premium boats are all safety compliant. Make your next vacay an all-round experience at Pineapple Bay, located on Bulago Island, right in the midst of Lake Victoria. Talk to us today.
Uganda, are you ready to dance all night? The ultimate house music experience, Imberfest, is here. Join us for the hypnotic beats, deep bass lines, and pure energy from Uganda's hottest underground DJs on the 20th of September at Sishanyama Village, Bugolobi. Get your crew, get your vibe, and let's Imba. Imberfest is proudly sponsored by Paragon Entertainment, Car Culture, and Rock Telecom. Let the rhythm move you.
Up next. Brought to you by Rock Boom. Energy for winners.
For us, is it for us or for us?
For us.
For us. For us, that's an evening, and in terms of what is going to be on tomorrow, especially for Sanyuka Television, that very brand new program. Very brand new? Okay, that's just a brand new program. One-on-one. And Muhammad Nsereko does have a very good conversation on him. I like how he fields a question, and that will be none other than Adam Kungu, who will be in there. Then on Sanyuka Morning Express, I think, not Sanyuka Express. On Morning Express, what did I have for lunch? Morning Express, it will be Munamaulire. Blasio Mukasa Zambari ajja kuba.
Chali munamaulire kati munnabyabufuzi.
Once a journalist or is
munnabyabufuzi.
Ajja kudda. Ajja kudda. Ugatadde. Adam Kungu wali mabega wafono. Adam, now oli munnamawulire oba omusoyisoyi?
Okay, well, Samson ne Canary, of course, akadibwe katuba tuzzo kuberanga tutunulira ensonga era baromita akasame megenda kutandika mu dakiika emu bbiri atuberenga twongera okuba torch mu biriwo mu bigenda maaso mu ggwanga katujje
akayisanyo ku kitebe kya NUP ke kakubagulizaako ku bbugumu eriri mu kasenge akakiiko k'ebyokulonda mu kibiina gye kasunsulira abeesimbyewo.
Badde nga candidate era bambuza ebibuuzo ebikambwe
babadde bantunulira mu maaso yesinze saabawandiisi naye ne bambuuza obuvunaanyizibwa bwa mbaka wa palamenti bwe buliwa gwe values ekibiina ozimanyi
kwane gwolowooza nti ddala ebintu abimanyi ogeze obanga empale zimukankana ng'abantu batuuyana ntuuyo
naye nga lijja siremu tetesi nagaye nti nja kujja yadde ne bannange bazze ffenna tubeerewo eri incumbent atayina avuganya
wadde nga bambawera nkolokooto ku maggwa g'ebyobufuzi kwe batudde
ebya process eno bigenda ku ground bano basaba nkaaga naye ewaffe ku ground nayo 140 simanyi endaja bagenda oziteeka nabo babagala nkaaga zina 100 ameka ana buli omu yeegwanyiza ekifo alina okujja ne pulezidenti waffe mwamulaba yajja n'akuba layini akute fayiro ye ekuba process tuba tuzitaddewo buli omu aba alina okuziyita muzigondera
kulaba nti ebifo ebirala ebitundu ebirala nga ankole toro newala tupafominga nnyo n'okusinga ku Buganda
tewabaawo omuntu yenna mpa akalulu nga tawadde mukulembeze waffe Robert Senta Mukyagulanyi
buli ajja asuubira buwanguzi naye kiki ekinaayawula asukkulumye ku banammi ba kkaadi
kyeyagala bakasa nti anaayita mu kakuŋŋuunta kano ajja kuba yagwanidde
byonna ku NBS Barometer akasammeeme toseguka etandise.
Okay, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Osibye tyatulaba ku NBS TV webale jo tusizake nga olunaku olwaleero enaku z'omwezi 16 mwezi gwa mwendo mwaka 2025 nze Adam Kungu njagala kwaniriza ku barometer akasameme eya wiiki eno era nga leero essira tugenda kuliteeka nnyo ku bigenda maaso mu kibiina ekisinga obunene ku ludda oluvuganya gavumenti ekya National Unity Platform olunaku olwaleero lwakubiri nga basunsula abeegwanyiza ebifo by'ababaka ba Parliament okwetoloola eggwanga lyonna batandise jjo Wakiso olunaku olwaleero era babadde batunulira abagala ebifo mu Kampala naye nga ekibuuzo ekisinga obunene kiri nti ku mulundi guno kinaaba kitya naddala nga ekinyusi okijja kubitwalaba mu gavumenti ez'ebitundu abamu nga beemulugunya abamu nga si basanyufu lupimo ki olunaayawula abo abagenda okubeera nga bafuna bendera n'abo abataafune mu studios already twegatiddwako dda bannaffe tugenda okubeera nabo era nga muganda wange Charles Romushana munabarometer waali yatudde dda sebo karibu sana Honorable Bet Numbers bakireke munabarometer